judgment, 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 final judgment, final judgment, final
Let's go, Philadelphia. Listen, nobody said it was going to be easy, man. Nobody said it was going to be easy, right? Nobody said it's going to be easy. Final judgment, Tony Jigsaw Cutillo. Philadelphia Phillies take down game one. Again, on the road, tremendous victory. Listen, tons of stuff to talk about. I got no time for those disappointing Philadelphia 76ers right now. Zero time. That'll be for another day. But this is all about the Philadelphia Phillies. You see it. Zack Wheeler, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, crushed San Diego in San Diego. Come on, man. Listen, everybody out there, just relax. Just relax. Adam checking in. Big win. 7 more wins. Check. Listen, everybody just check in. Let me know what you're feeling. Let me know how you feel right now. You got to be on another level right now. The energy is infectious. It's never easy, but they get it done, Javon says, in capital D-O-N-E. And yes, shout out to the Flyers going 3-0-2. Unfortunately, the Sixers couldn't catch this magic. But you know what? We're going to talk about that another day because I got a major Doc Rivers problem that I'm going to continue to have. We'll talk about that another day. But this is all about the Philadelphia Phillies. Listen, we go into this series knowing you're facing a complete pitcher, a complete package in Yu Darvish, and you needed your ace. You needed your ace to be the top dog. And you know what? I got so tired of hearing, again, nobody likes this. We don't care. It's the same MO all the time. I got to sit there and hear all about Yu Darvish and his fantastic pitches. And, you know, he's the wizard on the mound, the wizard of dominance. And all Zack Wheeler does is goes out there and completely dominates. And we hear nothing about that. Zero. Okay. And listen, I get it. Twitter went in an uproar. I had people texting me, why? I can't believe it. Why are they taking Zack Wheeler out of the game? I'm going to tell you this. I may be dead wrong here. But number one, listen, Rob Thompson's been around the game a long time. And you know what? If that game goes bad, if that game goes sour, that has nothing to do with Jose Alvarado. Nothing to do with Alvarado. That was a bad judgment play between Bohm and between Stott that got fixed. But here's what I want to say. Listen, for everybody that says Thompson should never pull the guy out, can I just paint a scenario for you? And please tell me if you agree. He was very willing and able to use Zack Wheeler in that series before on 3 days rest. Okay? If this game or if this series goes 7 games, you quite possibly could use Wheeler 3 times. Okay? Games 1, games 4, and game 7. The long game is about winning the World Series, and in order to win it, you got to get there. And in order to get there, you have to trust your pen. And you know what? Rob Thompson laid out an agenda, and he said, how do I get to the World Series? And that could be in 4 games, that could be in 5, that could be in 6, and that could be in 7. So what Rob Thompson just did, in my opinion, was he went into this game saying to himself, I got to give myself the best option to win game 1, to win a game 4, and to win a game 7, if it goes that route. And listen, there's two guys in this rotation that you can lean on, and that's Wheeler and Nola. Tell me you want Ranger Suarez pitching in a game-deciding game. Tell me you want any of these guys pitching in the game-deciding game except Wheeler and Nola. This move tonight, in my opinion, sets them up to have Wheeler in every possible situation for this entire series, however long it goes. And you just won a major one. And you know what else? You know what else that I think is going to be highly understated with this, okay? And nobody's going to talk about it, is giving your guys confidence, right? Giving your guys confidence to go in there and say, you know what? I got this bullpen. Exactly. And Javon, this is me and Javon got this great connection, man. Make sure you follow him as always. Okay, JL for 10. You got to follow him because, again, he said exactly what I said right before I said it. It's all about confidence. You just, like he said, you just gave major confidence boost to both Jose Alvarado and Sir Anthony Dominguez, who, let me tell you something, Sir Anthony Dominguez was on another level tonight. But again, you set your ace up, your number one ace. I love Aaron Nola. Zack Wheeler is ace one. Aaron Nola is ace two. You just set up Zack Wheeler to be able to pitch in game 4 and game 7 by this move. That's the way I see it. I don't see it any other way for that to happen. And you give them major confidence. My man Eric checking in says, yo, you just got to believe me, Claire, and the kids will be there Saturday night. Oh, dude, that is electric. Eric, that is electric, man. I cannot wait to see the pictures of you. Glad to hear from you. Glad all is well. You and the fam kicking it at Citizens Bank Park. It's going to be mind-numbing out there. It's going to be a tremendous scene, okay? And this, again, yes, everybody's building confidence, okay? Hey, listen, they have the perfect coach for this dynamic. It's crazy to me, right? It's crazy to me. You just watch. Okay, they rolled footage before this game of the game prior. Okay, they rolled footage of that game and in game 4, and what was going on? But they were like playing hacky sack together, like, you know, instead of warming up. These guys are so loose. These guys are playing so loose. So loose, man. It is unbelievable. As always, make sure you're giving us a follow. You're following The Final Judgment where you're watching the show right now, The Final Judgment on YouTube. It's on every podcast network known to man. Just type in The Final Judgment. Go give me a follow. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you give me a rating. As always, Heat Ratio Sports, Win Daily Sports, the home of the 599 Profit Center, as well as our boys at SEObrand.com who make all the analytics come to life. So speaking of analytics, listen, Rob Thompson's going by analytics. You know, he's going by analytics. And I'll tell you what, for Jose Alvarado to get up there against the two best players on that team and not even break a sweat after after he blunders the play, after he walks pro for, right? I mean, it's mind-boggling to me of how calm, cool, and collective these guys are. Okay, and here's the thing too. You know, Rob Thompson is a great mind manager. I think that's really missing all this. Rob Thompson is a great mind manager. He knows how to press the right mental buttons, right? There's nobody warming up in that pen. Nobody warming up in that pen because he's like, Jose, this is yours. Adam says that Schwarber was absolutely ridiculous. My man, Careless WP, go Phillies. Absolutely checking in on YouTube. As always, make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Wherever you're following at, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's keep this going, man. We got tremendous energy right now in this town, and it's infectious, and it's breathing into San Diego. Listen, Bryce Harper almost had 2 home runs tonight. He just missed another one, and he knew he just missed another one, right? You are getting, listen, if Kyle Schwarber gets hot, you're in trouble. It's simple as that. We said it all the time. The one team that nobody wanted to face was the Philadelphia Phillies if they got hot, and they are hot right now. They are hot. Listen, this is a team of destiny, okay? It is a team of destiny. You can feel it, right? You can feel it. How many times in 2008 did we have different plays, that weird bounces, weird plays that really didn't get, but all of a sudden it went our way, right? I mean, even in a game-clinching game for the NL East, when we played the Washington Nationals and Brad Lidge got out of that jam on that double play. I mean, that we just knew right there, this is a team of friggin' destiny. Everything that's happening is destiny, man. I don't know how else to say it, but it is so great. And you know what? I'm going to give a big Boo Birds shout out to the San Diego Padres fans who are absolutely terrible. Terrible. If you go to Citizens Bank Park, okay, if you go to Citizens Bank Park and you see a sea of red, you see the sea of red of all those rally towels going around. You can't even see faces. You can't see shirts. San Diego, every single person had a yellow towel, and 10% of them were flying it in the air. 10%. The rest of them were on their phone. The rest of them were drinking their beer. Yeah, you know, they were doing nothing. It was ridiculous. And then the best thing I loved was sitting there watching Bill Walton, probably high as a kite, behind home plate. If you go back and watch that entire last 2 innings, he was standing the whole time. All he was doing was smiling. He had no idea what the hell was going on. He was just happy. It's San Diego. He's just happy. The nice weather. That's all he was just so happy, right? Dude, those fans are terrible. They stink. I am so glad. I'm so glad. Every effort that they made to keep the Philadelphia Phillies fans from traveling and buying tickets to that game, it all hit them right in the ass. It all came back, and we just took the huge energy out of that stadium. Anything they even had is absolutely gone. It's absolutely gone. My man Nicky Nuts checking in. Nicky Nuts has he was like Bill Walton. Nicky Nuts was like Bill Walton tonight. Nicky Nuts didn't sit down the whole time, right? He didn't say. I love this. My man Colton of Stardust. Forgive me, Father, for I've sinned. I didn't believe in this team all season. I've been proven a dummy. Listen. It ain't about that, man. I love being transparent. There's a reason why they call me Jigsaw, because I am transparent, and these are the kind of takes that I love. Listen, I've never been I've never been a fan of certain people. Okay, I killed Bryce and Stott early on. I did. I thought maybe this guy doesn't have it. I don't know. Right? It's great, but here's the best part, man. Here's the best part about comments like this. The best part is that it's okay if we're wrong, because when we're wrong, it benefits us. And that's the best part. If we're wrong, great. That means we won. Being wrong means we won. And there's nothing wrong with that at all, man. Cauldron, thanks for checking in. Make sure you're hitting that like button. You're hitting that subscribe button. My man Eric says, Claire and I were saying those fans don't get it. No, they do not get it at all. Walton was absolutely clueless, man. I love it. I pick up on a lot of these different things all the time. I pick up on these things, and I'm like, you know what? What's going on, in the fans? And I'm looking at Bill Walton. I'm like, this dude's high as a kite. He has no idea what's going on. All he's doing is smiling. His team's losing, and he's smiling. He's not even cheering. He probably thinks the Phillies are the Padres. He has no clue. Cauldron, it's okay. Don't feel guilty and terrible that you are not a believer. It's okay, because now we all believe. Now we're all in this together. Ring that bell. Ring that bell. But you said it right there. But I'm happy to be proven a fool. Tony always says, I love to eat crow, man. I love every minute of it. My man Javon checking this says, tons of pressure on the Padres. Tons. Javon, you know as well as I do, we have our second ace on the mound, and they cannot go down 2-0 in this series. And guess what? Here's the thing about the Padres. There's 3 guys on this team. Actually, in my opinion, there's 2. Okay? And if you want to add a third guy, and it's not Josh Bell, for me, it's Will Myers, because Will Myers can get hot at any time. I am not a Josh Bell believer. I think he stinks. Okay? And Soto and Machado are the 2 guys that you need to worry about. Okay, everybody else around them are pieces that really haven't produced. I am not all in on a Trent Grisham wagon. Okay, just because he hit 385 in the postseason, he was terrible for half the year. Okay, these guys, listen, I'm not sold, man. I'm not sold. You get 3 and 4 out, and you're good to go. 2 and 3, or I should say 2, 3, 3, 4, whatever way they put them in the lineup, that's where you're good to go. You get Will Myers at 6 or 7, you get him out, everything's fine. You keep Profar off the base pass. I'm telling you, man, it's a recipe on how to beat him. Nick says, this is a great time to be the best fan base in the world. Absolutely, Nick. Couldn't agree more. We are the best fan base in the world. And everybody check in. Give me the comments. Tell me, who were you watching it with? How do you feel? I'm hitting there high-fiving my daughter, my sons, my wife, high-fiving everybody, man. It's been unbelievable. Look, my man Jay checking in. Been a long time, my man Jay. Sports Skill Radio. Win tomorrow with Noah, then take 2 or 3 over the weekend. Let's go to the World Series. Absolutely. Rich says Noah going to go give big now, all the pressure on the Padres, man. Absolutely, man. My man, Jose, I will see you soon, Jose. Maybe in a couple of weeks, as long as I'm cleared. But until then, this is where you get to see me. I appreciate the hell out of you checking in, man. I'm living a dream, bro. I'm living a dream. Everybody checking in. Keep checking in, man. This is fun. We love it. We're together. It's all about winning and positivity when it comes to Philadelphia sports right now. Eric says the difference between our fans and the Phillies is we're having fun. That's the thing, Eric. We are always having fun. That's the best part. We're having fun. Jose says feels electric. I mean, you can feel it in your freaking veins. You can feel everything. It's amazing to me. Listen, right now, I can't stop. Like this, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Who the hell is going to be productive this week? Tell me, who's going to be productive? Nobody. Nobody's going to be productive. My man Cauldron says, Noah brothers playing against each other tomorrow. If the parents want to root for a winner, go with Aaron. I'll tell you what, good for them, man. I shout out to the Noah parents. The Nola clan traveling to all the playoff games, man. I mean, it's been unbelievable. Good for them, living a dream with, both of their kids in the major leagues doing big things. Love every minute of it. Wheeler was dealing absolutely. Eric says we're going to be loud, dude. Those fans are going to be bugging out in Citizens Bank Park, man. It's a great ride. Rich says, listen, keep the comments coming. Listen, honestly, do we feel how can we not be confident? We're not cocky. We're confident. That's the thing. I've always said that before. There's a difference between cocky and confident. And we're confident right now. We're confident because we know what we can do. And we have been able to pick each other up numerous times throughout the season, okay, since Rob Thompson's taken over, and throughout the playoffs. Javon says, at least we don't have to wait until 8. You know what? That's the thing, man. That's the thing. Hyped it up. New to your channel. I'm a Cubs fan of Illinois, but I got your Phillies winning it. I'm not sold on the Padres at all. Man, hyped it up. Listen, if you're not following, man, give me a follow right here. Follow Judge Jigsaw, Instagram, Twitter. Follow the page, The Final Judgment with Tony Cutillo. Hit that like button for me, man. I greatly appreciate it. I love when people check in because I like to respect all fan bases, but I'm being honest. I'm with you. I don't feel the Padres at all. They just like the sunny weather. They like the tan. They like the beach. They like their seltzers and they like to get high. That's what they want to do. Baseball's a bonus to them. That's the difference. For us in Philadelphia, Hype did it. In Chicago, for you, it's life. Baseball is life. Sports is life. It's not life in San Diego. It's not life in San Diego. Calder says, Tony is so right. How am I going to sleep tonight? I'm so pumped. How? How do we sleep? Like, literally, I'm not sleeping tonight. There's no way. I am so amped up right now. And the thing is, I had dual screens going. I had Sixers going. I had Phillies going. And I was like, screw the Sixers. Right now, I'm all in on the Phillies, man. It's just a new breath of fresh air. And I love every minute of it. Yeah, we talk about everything. You know that, Rich. We hit everything. Flyers, Adam says, Sixers, good vibes. They just got hot at the right time. And you know what? That's the big key. We finally, can I just say this? Finally, I don't want to sound like The Rock, don't want to sound like Dwayne Johnson, but finally, we're on the other end, right? We've been on the other end for so goddamn long. I had to watch Chris Carpenter, old-ass Chris Carpenter, deal. I had to watch Cody Ross kill us. These guys that got hot at the right time, and we were the recipients, right? Hideki Matsui, Jorge Posada. Are you kidding me? Finally. It looks like the baseball gods have spoken, and finally they are coming back to earth to us, man. It's just, oh my God, I can't. I just can't. I could not wait to trek my ass down these steps, okay, because I'm still recovering from the leg injury, okay, still can't walk the way I want to walk, But I was popping down these steps on my butt, man. It slid over to this chair. Couldn't wait to get on here. I'm telling you right now, I will continue to say this. Anybody new to this channel, anybody's been following me, I love every single one of you. I love doing this shit. I love you guys for checking in. You guys are always with me all the time, no matter who says what. I love it, man. I appreciate the hell out of you, man. Eric, yes. Man, everybody's wild. I left, man. My sons, I want to give my sons a microphone. I'm like, yo, come on, man, hop on with me. Let's go. We'll do a little father and son, right? Little father and son thing, right? But they're like, nah, they're too shy, right? They're going to go play Xbox. That's okay. They hung with me the whole game, so now they're in their glory playing Madden. All good. Cauldron says, I think the Padres are just ecstatic that they beat the Dodgers. That was their boogeyman. That was their version of a championship. They're ripe for a loss after that series. I love that comment because, again, it breathes right into that fan base is how they don't know what the game is all about. They don't understand the passion of a baseball player and a sports fan. Listen, there's a reason why you guys know me, okay? And the people that don't know me, you will now know me. I am not a Manny Machado guy, okay? Manny loves Manny. And what you're seeing right now is a team of guys that love themselves and not love the team, okay? And the Phillies are a team that love the team. They're willing to do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Remember that? Whatever it takes? Whatever it takes. That's a 93 phrase from the 1993 Phillies. Whatever it takes, dude. Whatever it takes. That was a video narrated by the great, rest in peace, Harry Callis for the 1993 Phillies. Okay? Whether they were on steroids or not, these were a bunch of misfits that had no business getting the World Series, but they did whatever it takes. Whatever it took, they were able to get to that spot. Rich says the Phillies pitching that 1-2 punch. Listen, who would have thought, right? That at 1-2 punch, man. Who would have thought that 1-2 punch? I mean, it finally came together. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to call. I keep receipts on everybody, whether they're right or wrong. I told everybody, and some people were with me, some people were against me, that I felt that they paid the right price for Zack Wheeler. And a lot of people were scared off by the injury history. A lot of people were worried. Okay. Again, I wasn't worried, man, at all, because I talked to New York Cats, and you know what they said? They said, look, if this dude is right, he is every bit of an ace in this league. And again, I'm going to bring this back again, man. You know, all I heard tonight was about Yu Darvish. All I heard was about Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer. Nobody was talking about Wheeler and Nolan. Nobody was giving them respect, man. Put some damn respect on their names. That's all I got to say. Seriously, I will say this. I love listening to John Smoltz. Okay, you might not like a lot of the stuff he says, but he is the most intelligent, in the know, experienced broadcaster I've listened to in a very long time. I hated him when he was against us because he always killed us in Atlanta, but man, do I respect his talent behind the mic. I love why he brings up stories. He puts you in the game. He gives you the pitcher's mindset, the hitter's mindset. Man, they couldn't have picked a better announcer, and I'm so happy that I get to listen to Smoltzy. Jay says, how great has Rob Thompson been? A maestro. He absolutely has. Jay, he is hitting all the right buttons. I don't know. Listen, some of it could be luck. Who the frig knows? I don't know. I think he's very instinctual. Okay. And again, there's something for just knowing your players, right? There's something for knowing your players. And you've heard ex-players around the league. He is very well respected. And he stays, listen, you have to stay the course, man. You do. You have to stay. You know, he's very methodical in his approach. He's very consistent. And that's exactly what you have to be. Eric says, all our nights on weekends watching our Philly teams come together, our crew always have passion, win or lose. Other fans just don't get us, and we bleed our teams. They don't like us. We don't care. They don't get us. We don't care. They really don't. Carl says everyone was, yeah, I tell you what, I mean, I wasn't on steroids in 1993. There were some guys, though, that were on steroids that needed receipts to go get a refund because it didn't work. Okay, so honestly, let's call it the way. Wes Chamberlain was probably on steroids too. It didn't work for him. David West was on steroids. It didn't work for him. So let's remember that. Rich says, I liked Wheeler signing. If he's healthy, Cy Young caliber pitcher, 100%. Says Smoltz knows pitching and the game, knows situation and what they will throw. That's what I love about it. I love listening to him break it down because everybody listening that has children, it has, whether it be boys, girls, doesn't matter, has family that wants to learn a game. I'll tell you what, they can listen and they can understand and they can become these kind of players and or these kind of listeners that actually be educated throughout the game. And that's what I think is very special. That's always lost. And I think that's brought back by a guy like John Smoltz. Jay says, I think it's beneficial that the Phillies had that September slump and ended up third wild card, easier to navigate Cards and Braves than Mets and Dodgers. I don't disagree, Jay. Listen, if that's the path we got, that's the path. And I do. I like it. I love it. To be honest, I absolutely love it. I mean, listen, finally, something worked out in our favor. Javon says, give a shot to Romuto, how he's, listen, cannot go understated, right? Cannot go understated. You know, I said this probably about a month ago. JT Romuto has to be the guy, right? He has to be the guy behind the plate, at the plate, doesn't matter. Okay, he's that two-option guy. He can hurt you with the glove. He can hurt you with the bat. Okay, and not only that, now he can hurt you with his mind because he's the guy calling the game. He's the guy calling these pitches. He's the guy to take the mound visits when he has to. He's the guy that has to judge the game flow. And shout out to JT Romuto, best catcher in baseball. Best catcher in baseball. I'd rather be lucky than good. I like that. Harper's playing. Listen, Harper's playing MVP. This is MV3. This is MV3 right now. Harper is driven. He wants this. He wants this. He is not going away, man. He is not going away. Listen, for anybody who never liked, I want all those people that wanted Manny Machado and not Bryce Harper. I want all you people who told me that 13-year contract was ridiculous. I want all you people to say, no way, Bryce Harper, no way. I know it was a small percentage, but you people are out there, and you people are the ones tweeting those videos saying MV3 and taking pictures with Bryce and saying how he's the best, okay? Yous are hypocrites. Okay, I'll welcome you back as long as you admit that your opinions were very jaded and they were wrong. I'll welcome you back. But if not, get off the wagon. If you're not going to admit you're wrong, get off the wagon because I admit when I'm wrong. Okay, and I expect that. Anybody that follows me, watch the show, one thing that let's get something clear. Right here on the Final Judgment, okay, whether you're right or wrong, we admit it. Right? Let's come on and say, yeah, I was wrong. Like Cauldron just said, I hate to admit it, but I sinned. Forgive me, Father, for I've sinned. I may not put it that way, okay? But Cauldron wants to get religious on us, which is cool. Listen, man, if that's what you're going to spit out, I'm all good with that. But again, just being transparent. Let's be honest, okay? Let's be honest. Rich says Rob never gets too high or too low. Nick says he sees what we can be. Cauldron says, I wasn't on the juice in 93 either, but because I was 10 years old, bro, I hope not, man. That you would have been juicing, and I don't know, man. 10 years old, you never know. I mean, you could have had guns. I don't know. Maybe we get you on at 10 years old. You could have been on the juice, or been on celebrity boxing. Shout out my man Damon Feldman for always doing big things with celebrity boxing. Just signing Roy Jones Jr. as well. Rich says, hey there, who was in front of them. Says JT is the best catcher in the league, bar none. Absolutely. Cauldron says Jay is right. The way these matchups have been working out with our opponents, it's magical. It's dare we say destiny? Dare we say meant to be? Right? All that's left. It's like, here's the thing: you still got to go out and play baseball, right? You still got to go out and play baseball. You still got to go out and win games. But when the path is given, listen, in 08, I thought the path was given to us too. I mean, to be honest with you, when we played the World Series, I think people were forcing themselves to hype up the Tampa Bay Rays. They were forcing themselves because they weren't that good. Honestly, they weren't that good. They were forcing themselves to hype up, that team. Okay, and again, I mean, we still had to win. My man Harry checking in. Absolutely, Harry. Phillies, brother. Absolutely, Harry. Let's ring that bell, brother. Ring that bell. Harper made it happen. This is Harper. This is Harper's team. Harper made this team. Harper went in the front office and said, give me Nick Castellanos. Okay? Listen, how about this, though? How about this? This is what we got to say, too. I'll go through these comments first. Although saying Phillies paid too much for JT, how you like him now? Hey, Rich, you're going to remember this. Hey, where's all my James McCann fans at? James McCann fans, stand up. Hey, everybody want James McCann. Stand up. Oh, we got to sign James McCann. We're not paying JT Realmuto that money. James McCann is a stiff. He stinks. He's terrible. He's home right now. Right now, he's probably bagging groceries in Gennardi's. It's a part-time job because he knows he's going to get cut, and he doesn't deserve the salary he's making. But you people, some of you wanted James McCann. I don't get it. I have no idea. Bryce is on a mission. Absolutely. Because Bryce worth every penny, and he's actually not only worth every penny, he's like a discount right now. Harper came back hungry from that injury. You know what's funny, Jose? Not only did he come back hungry, but now he's even hungrier. You know why? Because he's back where it happened. He's back where it happened. And he knows that he knows he was not very good in probably the last 30 games. He was still trying to find himself. He was still trying to heal up. And let's not forget, he's still playing with a UCL tear. He's still playing with a bum elbow, okay? This is still a guy that can't play the field. Rich says he said they aren't losing in the playoffs, 100%. Damn, Philly on fire. Shorty checking in. I love it, man. Win Daily represent. Philly on fire with MLB. NFL picked up a Kelsey shirt to rep your Eagles T-cuts. I love it. Listen, I was pissed, man. I fell short on my props tonight, but that's okay. That's okay. Oh, we're going to get back. We're going to get back tomorrow. Get it back on the wagon. Tyrese Maxey killed me. Gennardi's, that's a throwback. You know what's funny? Javon, I used to wear, listen, full transparency, I used to be a route salesman for hers back in the day, and my main supermarket was Gennardi's. And for some reason, Gennardi's will always reside in my brain. I don't know why, but they will. Nick says, thank God we paid out. Yes, pay over the luxury tax. Whatever we got to do, just keep paying over it. I don't care. And that's, that brings me to this. How about we get a shout out to Dave Dombrowski, right? Finally, we get rid of that stiff Matt Klintak who did nothing. He did nothing. He was terrible. All he did was kill his team. Finally, we get rid of that stiff Klintak. We bring in, ready for this one? We bring in a baseball guy. Dave Dombrowski, a baseball guy. Not a guy who's going to count pennies. Not a guy who's a bean counter. Not a guy who's going to, it's all about analytics. You brought in a baseball guy. And lo and behold, what happens when we bring in baseball guys? God damn it, we win. God damn it, we make smart decisions. And how about Klintak saying, you know what, Middleton, we need to go over the luxury tax. You know why? Because my man Castellanos, I know he's a player. My man Schwarber, I know he was the MVP of a World Series. I know that he can carry a team. So let's get it done. These are the guys we need. At the trade deadline, this is what we need to grab. These are the guys we need to get. Let's give Dave Dombrowski some goddamn credit, man, because without Dave Dombrowski, we're not sitting here. How about Penn Fruit? See, Harry knows all about the delivery drivers. Harry knows what I'm talking about. My man Larry checking in. Things are good when the Flyers are 3-0. Absolutely. I don't want to bag on the Flyers, but hey, Tortorelli or Tortellini, I don't freaking know. I'm not a hockey guy. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea who half the players are on the team. Okay, but yeah, they're 3-0. Rich says I hated Klintak the whole time he was here with the analyst. Listen, Klintak was that dude. He got beat up for his lunch money as a kid. He finally got a job, paying all this money, right? And then now he's just counting his beans. He's counting his little coins, right? And at the end of the day, he's just putting names to paper. You know what Matt Klintak was? Here's Matt Klintak. One of my peeps, Shorty here, she's going to agree with me when I say this. You know what Matt Klintak was? He was those fraudulent people that throw out sports picks, okay, that don't even know the players. He's one of those fraudulent sports bettors that go out there and say, hey, here's my pick. You want to take the Padres or the Phillies at minus 180. Minus 180. What the hell kind of bet is that? Minus 180, okay? And they couldn't even tell you 4 players on the friggin' team. They probably couldn't even tell you the colors of the jersey, Okay, but that's what Matt Klintak was. He couldn't tell you who these people were. He just knew numbers. That's all it was. Nikki says, hell yes. Middleton for just going out and spending that money too. Absolutely. John Middleton hanging out with the fans, hanging out. Listen, hanging out with the crew, taking pictures. John Middleton's a celebrity. John Middleton is a celebrity, man. Look at him. I love the Phillies and Eagles pillows on the couch. Cauldron says, I'd be squeezing the life out of those things during games like a nervous kid with a teddy bear. Listen, here's the thing I will tell you about my setup, okay? I like to keep it original, right? I don't like to get bookcases behind me that I bought from Target and I put off footballs and have no – everything you see behind me, I bought, okay, whether it was growing up or was gifted to me as a kid growing up. They're all symbolic. This isn't something that I just built from a warehouse, right? So this is what I wanted to do. I told everybody that I got 3 kids, right? I'm fully transparent with this. I got 3 kids, and once they were out of Legos, once they were out of Thomas the Train, once they were out of SpongeBob, okay, I finally said, you know what? I'm gonna make this into a studio. So we're going to soundproof this. And you know what? Honestly, that's why I turned down a lot of jobs, because I said, you know what? I want to be at my kids' sports. I want to be at their sporting events and not stuck in a studio on a Saturday making $60. Okay, that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is I want to do shows on my time, on my watch, in my house. So I'm here, and that's what I did. So I appreciate any of the comments, but I will give a shout out to the wife, because you know damn sure I didn't arrange that shit behind me. Okay, you know I didn't do that. My man Nick says, "Welcome to the Nick Show." You know, welcome to the Nick Show. Nick's all over the place. Cauldron said, "Yeah." Oh, I'm sorry about the pillows. Yes, Larry says, "Why?" That's a good question. That's a good question, Larry. I will say that. That is a good question. Why wasn't Bone replaced in the 9th inning with Sosa? And I will tell you, my man Dan Old School Green texted me and said, why wasn't Sosa in there right before I went live? So you're right. You're right. I don't know. That's he put Verling in, okay, for defense in the outfield, but he didn't put in, even though I don't think that was Bone's fault. It was just a weird play, man. It was just a weird play. Rich says, that's why I have original stuff from time when I was you got to, Rich. You have to, man. 100%. Rich says, hey, you delegated for the expertise. I try, man. You know, I try. I gotta let her give the expertise. You know what I mean? Shorty says, that's genuine Philly vibes, that you keep it real. No need to frame something when it's fine as is. Real is real. Absolutely. Right? That's my point. Real is real. I mean, this is, if you walk down here right now, I didn't stage any of this. This is what it is. Right. And you don't see the other side with there. You know, I got championship rings over here. I got one day we'll flip the camera around. We'll do the other side. But you know, this is my home. This is my home. This is where I live. This is what I love and I love to do. And I appreciate every single one of you. Okay, every single one of you. I'm not going to drop the F-bomb, but Nikki Nuts does that real well. Says F and love it, brother. I love you as well. Javon says they got caught in that shift in the 9th and Stott just couldn't get to the bag, but Jose locked it down. And that's the thing. You know, that's why I say, you know, even with that defensive replacement, I don't blame Bohm. It was just a weird play. You know, that's what happens with that shift. Right. That's why they're going to outlaw that shift next year. That shift is going to be gone. Right. So, you know, it happens, but that's why it's so huge with the confidence that Rob Thompson gives his players. Right. That's why it's huge, because, you know, Alvarado, listen, how about this? Okay. Do we not talk enough that Alvarado, okay, I just talked about hers, right? Alvarado couldn't hit an 18-wheeler that had the Hers emblem on it, parked in the middle of a mall parking lot with a beach ball earlier in the year. That's why he got sent down to the minors. Okay, and then he got brought up. He went down there. Okay, listen, he was driven. He was driven. He went down, got himself together. Shout out to all the coaching staff for pumping him up, because they knew how much electric stuff that he had. And this isn't a homegrown guy. Let's remember that. This isn't a homegrown guy. Dombrowski again. Here's a guy who comes in. Dombro does it again. Okay, and they saw something in him. And right now, listen, in 2008, we had to bridge the lidge. We all talk about that. We had to bridge the lidge. And, you know, especially when you talk about guys like Ryan Madsen, you talk about guys like Scott Air, JC Romero, whether he was on a roid or not, doesn't really matter. Those guys were integral parts of that championship team. And again, you cannot be this good. Brad Lidge was that story, remember? That shot from Pujols is still flying in Houston. Still flying in Houston. Brad Lidge was lost. He was done. He was a reclamation project for that perfect season. My God, it's like we're watching that all over again with Jose Alvarado. Harry says, love it, cuz, as always, my cousin. I love when the cousin's second. It's fantastic, man. Harry, I love you, man. I appreciate you. I ain't seen you in a long goddamn time. And I apologize for that. One of these days, we're going to get together. Congratulations on the move, by the way. I love it. Rich says, I wasn't sure about we are not pitching the 8th, but it worked. And see, that's what I love. See, Rich, that's called the final judgment. That's called Jigsaw transparency right there. I wasn't sure about we are not pitching the 8th, but it worked. It's exactly it. It's exactly it, man. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it's okay to question it. It's okay. But if it works out, freaking fantastic. That's what we want. We all want it to work out. Javon says, yeah, that play by Cronenworth, right? The shift took away a run earlier from Harper. Harper was the first guy to smack a ball off of Yu Darvish, and Cronenworth made a hell of a play only because he was in the shift, right? If not, again, that is a run. Alvarado struggled mightily, Rich says, and came back up and now looks like unhittable. I mean, him establishing 100-mile-an-hour fastball and then sitting there with that filthy cutter is ridiculous, man. Is ridiculous. Jay says, my guesstimate about Bohm is that he's improved slightly defensively, and in a 2-run, low-scoring game, he might have wanted to keep the potential of Bohm's offense in the game. Same for Castellanos and Schwarber. Just a guess. Listen, Jay, nothing wrong with that. Like I said, my guess on why he went to the bullpen is so he could keep Wheeler for game 4 and a closeout game possibly, or game 7, okay, on 3 days rest. And I think that's what he set up. If you go 100 pitches, that's like the way that Wheeler was pitching, that's 2 extra innings. And those 2 extra innings could be huge. Who knows? He said in that game-clinching game against Atlanta, he was ready to pitch a couple innings if he needed to. So you have to think ahead, and that's what I think is brilliant about Rob Thompson. That's brilliant. Nick says, I got chills. He said, you gave me chills. I'm trying, Nick. I'm trying, man. This isn't fabricated, man. This is my passion. Okay, this is who I am. I can't hold it back. People said I'm too powerful. Screw you, man. I'm not powerful. This is who I am. Cauldron says, I still have my Fanatic plushie from 1986. Wasn't even 3 yet when I got it at my first baseball game. I had it sitting on my knee when Brad Lidge struck out Eric Hinsky in 08. See, these are what I love doing these shows. Everybody remembers, right? Everybody remembers where they were at for that last strikeout, man. For that last strike. I mean, it gives me chills just thinking about it. It really does. And, there's certain parts, in moments. And if you didn't hear my episode yesterday, on the final judgment, actually this morning, if you didn't hear it, go back and give me a follow. Make sure you're following this page, the final judgment with Tony Jigsaw Cutillo. Make sure you're liking the show, you're subscribing to all the networks that's on. I greatly appreciate it. It's podcasts as well. If you have Apple, Spotify, iHeart, just type it in, the final judgment. Go give me a rating, man. We're in like 23 episodes. We just had a fantastic interview today with Kai Carlin breaking down the Sixers. Check that out. More interviews to come. Larry says, Sir Anthony. Wow. Can we say enough about Sir Anthony Dominguez, right? Can we say enough about Sir Anthony Dominguez? I mean, what he did tonight was absolutely, you know who he looked like tonight? Can I say this? Javon, if you're still watching, tell me if I'm allowed to say this, if there's a violation. And not just Javon, anybody, but me and Javon, we bond a little bit. But am I allowed to say it kind of was like Mo Rivera-esque? Kind of reminded me like Mariano Rivera tonight on the mound. I mean, that's how nasty he was. Cauldron says, guys, I'm wide awake, like I'm jazzed up right now, feeling great. My man Roddy, listen, this This is why I like it. And listen, all Padres fans, welcome. Please. I'm not one of those guys that going to sit here and mock you, any of that. I love the camaraderie back and forth. I will tell you that we did a show last year on Half Court Heat, me, Andre, and Al, and we did a post-game show for Toronto, and we had half of the listeners were Toronto people, and I loved it. It was a great show. Just going back and forth. Nothing crazy, just realistic ideas, man. And, you know, I'm a diehard Padres fan. I just think of where the road ends. The Phillies are red hot right now. Listen, we are hot. And I'm going to be honest with you. Like I said, I mean, there's only, and I'm not saying this disrespectfully, but there's only 3 players that I fear on the Padres right now. And that's Soto, Machado, and Will Myers. You know, I think, listen, Josh Bell is a strikeout waiting to happen. I mean, he just swings at anything. You know, if he doesn't get a fastball right down the plate or a high heater that he catches, he's not going to hit the ball. So, you know, and you Darvish can't pitch every game. And you know, again, it's just, listen, I think they did amazing things. I cannot believe that they beat the Dodgers. I'm glad because I think one thing we can agree on is we both hate the Dodgers. It was great to see the Dodgers go down. Loved every friggin' minute of it, man. Every friggin' minute of it. Kudos and yes, listen, I'll tell you what, honestly, like whoever wins this series, man, listen, I hope we win it all because I can't stand the American League. Okay, I don't want to see the Yankees. And as much as I like the Astros, I do like that team. It's got to come from the National League, goddamn it. So yes, I will riding Holbrook County. I will say one thing, that if you guys win this series, which I still don't think you will, but it's just my opinion, okay? Not being cocky, just being confident. But if you don't, I will 100% go all in on the Yu Darvish train, even though I hope if you guys do win, I will not root for Manny Machado. I can tell you that right now because I can't stand that guy. Just my opinion. Rich says, yeah, he can go to Wheeler in the 4th game, then back on 3 days. What? Exactly. See, Rich, that's what I said. That was the underlining factor. All you people on Twitter that were blasting the move for Rob Thompson said, hold on, relax, and let's think about this. This is a very important. Listen, you got to win this series. You got to win this series to get to the World Series. And you want your top dog ready to go. And what you just did was you set up tonight to have Wheeler be able to go in game 4 and then back in game 7 if it goes to that. And that is huge. Cauldron says, right, thanks for being the Dodgers for us. Absolutely, man. Says, yeah, no doubt. I think we all say that. My man Al checking out. Tony, we went 2 for 1 tonight. Good day for Philly. Now let's be greedy tomorrow and get game 2. Yes, I want to be greedy. 100%. Larry says, look like Diaz. Look like Edwin Diaz. I like that. I do. Bryce says the Padres have never been very good. Listen, they made some good moves, man. I do like them bringing in Juan Soto. I think that was huge. You know, the biggest problem you have is Fernando Tatis. The guy just can't stay mentally in or healthy, and he's a detriment to the team, even though he's a phenomenal talent. It's a shame, to be honest with you. It really is to see talent like that. Javon says, I heard someone else say so. Whoever's thinking the same thing, like I felt Mariano Rivera tonight. I did. When he was throwing that heat, and the way he kind of holds his glove a little bit, I was like, wow, this is like Mo 2.0 out there. Like, and how funny is it? Rob Thompson, who was part of those teams, right? Rob Thompson, who was part of those teams who had Mo, right? It's crazy. Rich says Sir Anthony didn't lose his composure after the error, came back and just handled business. Him and Alvarado. It's crazy. It's all good, man. Frozen stream. I don't think that's me. I think I'm going unless it's frozen somewhere else. Rich says, I had the Dodgers winning it all. 16 says, I'm a Dodgers fan. Oh, see, I love it. All right, you said LMAO. It's all good, man. Listen, I just can't stand the Dodgers. I'm sorry. Even though I will gratefully take Trey Turner from you next year in Philadelphia. I will say that. It will be my pleasure to take Trey Turner off your hands. You do have some likable players, but God, you know why I hate you, right? You know why I hate the Dodgers, not you personally, 16. I know I hate the Dodgers because that lineup is so goddamn good. I didn't want to see that lineup, man. That was the best lineup in baseball, top to bottom. I hated that. I wanted to be that good. I'm not going to lie. My man Joe, the most sarcastic guy on Twitter, my man Joe, he says, I want to see Snell's raccoon eyes sink even further if he goes in Philly, man. Oh, that's so hilarious. Josh Bell is a genuine POS, and POS for everybody says piece of shit. Okay, and Josh Bell, I love it. I'm not a Josh Bell guy. I'm not a Machado guy, and I will tell you what. Tonight was the first time I seen Juan Soto do that little shimmy shake, and I want to shimmy shake his ass right out of San Diego with that. By the way, just throwing that out there. Shorty Checker says the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I love that, man. Like, listen, that's what all it's all about. See, that's the problem, man. That's a problem. Like when people call in, they're like sports radio and they're a fan, right away they're a ball bag or a douchebag, right? Right away, oh, this dude sucks. Dude could be one of the most intelligent fans in the world. It's okay that we can have a mutual respect for each other and want different things. It's okay. We're all baseball fans, for Christ's sake. We're all sports fans, man. That's what it's all about. Listen, I did say one thing on the show, and I'm going to be honest with you. The best thing about sports, you know what's great about sports? Okay, I said it earlier on the show. The greatest thing about sports in the world is you see no color, you see no ethnicity, man. You see nothing. Yeah, honestly, you see nothing. You see a uniform. That's it. It's a game of baseball. It's a game of basketball. It's a game of football where everybody can be fans. You know, nobody can be judged for looking this kind of fan or that kind of fan. Or it's ridiculous. We live in a crazy world where everybody hates each other right now, and I can't stand it. Okay, I generally can't stand it. It sucks. And I said that before. It's so hard. When you're trying to raise kids in this world, it is so goddamn tough, man, to keep them on the right path. Who to listen to, what to believe, right? What beliefs to know. And that's what I love about this. Shows like this, streams like this, how we can all vibe together, whether we like the Dodgers, the Padres, the Phillies, who cares? It's a mutual respect that we want the same thing because guess what? The Dodger fans, they're diehard too. There's not, maybe some of them are frauds, but some of Philly fans are frauds too. They're hypocritical. Let's be honest. But at the same time, they want the same thing for their team that we want for our team. So what's wrong with that? Right? What's wrong with that? Rich says, I don't want to see the Yankees win anything. That's what we all say. Astros will. I could get down with that. Yep, I'm happy we just beat the Dodgers. That's what it's all about, man. Astros going to win the World Series. I don't know about that, man. See, that's the thing. I mean, listen, even though they have a very, very deep team, man. They have a very, very deep team. Calder says, at 16, not gonna lie, I'm glad you guys knocked out. It's so funny. It's so true, man. It's so true. Phillies will win the World Series. I'm going for y'all to win. Listen, I would just want to be in the World Series and we'll see what happens. That's all I want to see. Jay says, think about this for a sec. As good as we are this season, next season, we should be better. 3 pitchers coming up and the Phillies may go. That's what I'm saying. Give me Trey Turner. All right, Painter comes up. Give me Trey Turner, right? I mean, listen, it's crazy when you think about it. I mean, we're going to be good for a couple years here, which is great. Jesus, hopefully, because I hate the Astros and the Yankees, but I like the Phillies. See, we're rubbing off on some people tonight. We're making new fans. Listen, as always, make sure you're following this show. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button to the Final Judgment. All you need to do is type in the Final Judgment. If you want to type my name, Tony Jigsaw Cutillo, you can type that in as well, and you'll see the show. Make sure you subscribe to the show. It would really help me out, and on podcasts as well. Joe says Thompson isn't Kapler or Girardi. He knows his staff. That's the thing. He knows his peeps, man. That's what I like. He knows what he wants to do. He has a methodical approach, and he continues on. Let's have Noah pitch a gem tomorrow. Obviously, that's what we want. Rod says Soto needs to stop looking for a walk. That's what I'm saying, man. I don't know what's up with Juan Soto. You went from being the best player in baseball to a shell of yourself for some reason. I'm not sure. Thompson isn't Girardi or Kapler. Oh, all right. He said that already. I'm sorry. I hit this. Al says, how can anybody question any move this manager has done this season? He's earned our trust. Let's do his thing. Exactly. No offense, Al, but this ain't Doc Rivers. Okay. This ain't Doc Rivers. Okay. This is Rob Thompson. That's the thing. Rod, cheers. Thanks for checking in, man. Unbelievable. Man, listen, we've been going 53 minutes. 53 minutes, and I'm sweating. I'm freaking sweating down here, man. It's ridiculous. Nick said, this is the best. I don't know, Nick. Welcome to the Nick show may be the best show. I'm just trying to play up to you, Nicky Nuts. That's all I'm trying to do. Rich says, the difference between the Padres and the Phillies are a lot of me. Yes. You know what's funny? I said that. It's a lot of me players. I say this all the time. Manny loves Manny, right? That's the difference. Manny loves Manny. Okay. I will tell you a story. You go back and look at the footage. When Manny Ramirez, I'm sorry. Why am I saying that? I just gave Manny Ramirez a bad name. But Manny Machado came to Philadelphia for a visit. Remember when him and Harper were doing the tours, right? Manny Machado got out of his limo, okay? And there were some construction workers there waiting for Manny, wanted to talk to him. He wouldn't even give him the time of day. And then he noticed there was a camera, and he showed up, and he made sure he went back and saved face on camera. Manny Machado is a fraud. He cares more about his hairstyle and the gum that he chews more than the bat that he uses in the World Series championship. Okay, it's simple as that. Or I should say NLCS. Eric says nobody wins like Philadelphia fans. Great show, Tony. Adam, I appreciate you as always checking in. Rich says that Kyle home run went off the Pacific Ocean. Dude, it's still rocking up there, bro. It's unbelievable. Cauldron of Stars says, I love talking to fans from other teams, except for Dallas Cowboy fans from Philadelphia with absolutely no connection to Dallas. I have no respect for those folks. Yeah, listen, man, I am not going to sit here and defend any Dallas Cowboys fans. That's one thing that I learned as a kid, that I don't like the Cowboys. Simple as that. I learned that. You learn that in Philadelphia. It's just one of those teams, man, that you don't like. Okay, you just don't like when you're from Philadelphia. As 16 says, I'm joking with you. I don't care that you said I'm actually going for the Phillies because I hate the Astros and Yankees. It's all good, man. Listen, I don't care, man. It's all fun, man. For real. Shorty says, for real, don't matter what say this exactly. For no matter what, race, creed, alien creature from the deep you are, a bum is a bum. 100%. If you love sports, I don't care what race, what ethnicity, I don't care what gender, it doesn't even matter, man. It's all about being a sports fan. And that's what is so fantastic about all of this. It's about being a goddamn sports fan. Joe says, put a free bet on Astros back when Dusty said it was this last year. Check that out. I like that. Astros choked last year too. You're right. Nick says, love it. Eric says, yes, our kids need to enjoy one another, not who they should be taught to like and not like. Eric, I couldn't have said it more, man. We live in a crazy freaking world, bro. Crazy freaking world, man. And that's why I love doing what I do here. I meet people from all walks of life, from different backgrounds. That's the thing, man. That's why listen, there's not many people I don't get along with. Okay. And if people don't get along with me, there's usually something wrong with them. I can tell you that right now. I will have a beer. Actually, right now I don't drink. So I have an unsweetened iced tea with anybody. Yes, it's okay. And I'll drink it with a goddamn umbrella too. It's all good. Al says, Rob just said Wheeler won't pitch game 7 even with a low pitch count. He says that now. Again, things change. Honestly. Javon says Painter, Abel, and McGarry to add with Nola, Wheeler, and Suarez is scary. Finally. And you know what's great about that, Javon, and everybody else who mentioned it as well, Rich, Al, and Joe, and Jay, homegrown talent. Finally, homegrown talent. We finally have it. And that's what's spectacular. We finally have it. Joe says, keep Turner. He's aging and choked against the Padres. Keep Stott. Kid has shown enough where his at-bats will lead off worthy in a year or two spent on arms. I like that. You know what? That's a great point, right? Turner did choke. And he is aging. And Stott, sky's the limit, right? Even though Scott didn't get a hit tonight, he hit the ball hard. Rich says, thank you. I question everything about Doc Rivers. Yeah, that is going to be a show for another day. Trust me, because I'm going to bury Doc Rivers. Okay, bury him once again. That team looked like complete garbage tonight. No energy. Don't even get me started. We'll go another hour. Nick says, love you, brother. I love you too, man. Tony, we're all going to need caffeine in the morning. Listen, I don't even need caffeine right now. Like, I am so freaking hyped up. It's crazy. Man, Brian says, just hit the thumb button on your... Oh, you're my man, Brian. Please, you are the man, man. I appreciate any thumbs up that you can hit. You hit subscribe. Again, a Final Judgment airs this show. This is different, right? I do all kinds of shows, pop-up streams. We do post games. I do a lot of influential interviews with people throughout the media, the sports world, authors and doctors that have to do with the world of sports, youth sports. Please check it out. Do a lot of work, and I appreciate everybody hopping in and subscribing to the channel. Manny Ramirez also love. Yeah, you're right, Manny. Both Mannys love Mannys, man. Philadelphia Phillies fan. So, Brian, I know you're pumped up, man. We've been going for an hour here, and I'm sweating. I'm sweating, but I'm in, man. I'm in, man. Like my hair. Look at my head. I like seriously, like I'm sweating my ass off right now, but I'm so freaking happy. I am. I'm so freaking happy. I just can't stop. Almost 500 foot, 488. My God. Trevor Jigsaw. Yeah, Trev. Come on, Trev. I know you're happy, Trev. You're out there. You're out there. You're watching. I know you're happy. Nothing beats sports, Nick. You're absolutely right. Shorty says, Al Codgen, I'm a native Texan. Feel the same about Cowboy Nation. They are the worst. Ain't no talking to them. Ain't no hot stepping on them. Can't stand them Cowboys fans. Brian says, don't forget, Thursday on Fox Sports, the Philadelphia Union start the playoff run. And yeah, Brian, I completely agree. I tweeted out earlier. I don't know if you've seen it, but if you're on social media, give me a follow at Judge Jigsaw. I tweeted out the hype video for the Philadelphia Union, man. It is electric. Not only was the hype video great for the Philadelphia Phillies, but you watched that Philadelphia Union, my God. And I talked about them. Rich will back me up here. I talked about them and how important they are to this city because they are a very fan-friendly team. They deserve all the accolades. And if anybody's been down to Talent Energy Stadium, I've been down there numerous times. I've had my soccer team down there. That place is rocking. It is a great environment and shout out. Go Union. Dupe that, right? Rich says, as Mickey from Rocky said, he's a crumb bum. I love it. Let it come down to it, and we will see. That I meant. Okay. Al says I meant game 4. Well, here's the thing, Al. That's what I'm saying. I think he put it in his head that, even though he could have gone out there, I think he just wanted that opportunity if he needed it. Right. And obviously right now, because you stole game 1, you're not going to need it. Okay. So I like that because there's no way San Diego is winning in the next 2. It's just not going to happen. Jose says, yes, baby. Yes. Jose, you're coming in late, but it's okay. We're in, right? We're all in. Philadelphia Phillies, ring that bell. Trevor says, name something more cringy than Padres fans video on Good Morning San Diego. I'm telling you, man. Like, I don't know what's going on out there. I think everybody's just happy, like Bill Walton, right? Like I mentioned earlier, Bill Walton was just happy. He's high as a kite, happy, drinking his seltzers behind the plate. He didn't know what day it was, let alone what game it was in, man. He had no freaking clue. Brian says, don't forget third. Oh, yeah, we did that, man. The comments, they double up sometimes. Says, Tony, I got the shovel and dirt for you for Doc. Yo, man, Doc's pissing me off, bro. Doc's pissing me off. Anthony checking in. Phillies one hit the Friars. That's scary. I was in high school when they last made the World Series in the playoffs. They are true underdogs this year. Also, I'm a 30-year-old Yankee fan. Anthony, listen, nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing. Like we accept all fans here. I don't care. Like, honestly, nobody gets shoved off this stream, man. Nobody gets shoved off. I accept all fans because I love it. I love talking sports. This is what it's all about. And listen, I can't believe you guys booed Aaron Judge, to be honest with you. I'm just telling you, the dude's like MVP. I mean, you want to talk about Phillies fans booing and the boo birds? Dude, that was unacceptable, in my opinion. I'm sorry. And then he comes back to that game and bombs off a home run. It's just unacceptable. Anthony says, new to the channel. Yeah, Anthony, listen, if you're new to the channel, do me a favor. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe. We got tons of great stuff here on this channel. Big things coming up, different shows, different burgers. It's called, listen, just so everybody knows, if you're new to this channel, I got the nickname a long time ago called Jigsaw because I'm kind of up in your front. You see the energy. This is who I am. I call this the final judgment, specifically JUDGE, right? It's from a marketing standpoint. I am a publicist. I run my own marketing firm. Okay, so I kind of dive into what these things mean, and I want to lay the gavel down. So I wanted everybody to think that I am the judge. That's why you can see at Judge Jigsaw. So if you're on social media, follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Judge Jigsaw, because we lay verdicts down. We do judgments and verdicts, and the verdict is that the Philadelphia Phillies are a team of destiny right now, the best in the business. Cole just says, hey, Shorty, if you're from an area, you can root for the team. It's just if someone's born and raised and lives in Philly and have never been to Texas, they have no business being a Cowboys fan. Listen, that comes from that whole America's team. But God damn it, I think the Philadelphia Phillies are becoming America's team. I really do. I think the Philadelphia Phillies, I think Philadelphia is becoming America's town. Whether you want to believe it or not, I think Philadelphia is becoming America's town. Joe says, what happens first? Hoskins hits the other way or Embiid stays on his feet and doesn't fall for a pump? Oh, my God, Joe, did you see it? Did you see him fall in the first, minute and a half of the game, start holding his elbow? Come on, dude. What are you doing, Joe? Stay on your goddamn feet. And Hoskins, listen, Joe, me and you agree, man. I know. Listen, Hoskins had a moment. One of the best moments of Philadelphia sports history. I get it, but he's still Reese Hoskins, and he's still going to kill you every single game. I'm just saying, man. It's still Reese. Anthony says, Manny always took a piss inside the Green Monster. See, he knows. Listen, Anthony knows. Manny loves Manny, man. I love it. Manny loves Manny. Trevor says, I can't find a single Cowboys fan in South Florida. They're hiding. They're in hiding like crazy, man. They're all hiding, man. They want nothing to do with what happened. Rich says, Union have been dominant this morning. You said it and talked about it. Thanks, Rich. I appreciate it. You know that. Dupe. Brian says, right now the Philadelphia Flyers 3. What is going on in Philadelphia? What? Everybody's grabbing this energy, man. Everybody's grabbing this energy. That hype video was brutal for San Diego. Yeah, it was terrible, man. It was terrible. I'm sorry. I know. I don't know. Hopefully, all the Padres fans checking in were none of those dudes on that video because that was pretty brutal. Calder says, "Hey Brian, I think is it Tortorello? I think it's Tortorello, right? Again, I'm not a hockey guy. I think it's Tortorello. Says, I thought that when I heard they got him in the offseason. Nicky Nuts, you're the Flyers guy checking in, man. Is it Tortorello? Is he the right coach? Nick says, hate them on the West Coast. Shorty says, college. Oh, for sure. I get it. Hell, I'm born and raised in the area, surrounded by that culture. It's so dumb. Rich says, game one already. I want him fired. Eric says, there's so many factors winning in baseball, but most of all, those Phillies are having fun and building confidence. It's all about fundamental baseball. Listen, you win and die with fundamental baseball in the playoffs. That's what you do. You win or die with fundamental baseball in the playoffs, and that's what's happening. The Phillies team, Anthony says, it's from a New York Yankee fan, right? And this is what I love about it because, again, the Yankees can get hot as well. Man, when you have guys in that lineup like Rizzo and Judge, you definitely have to pay attention. Even a guy like Donaldson that get hot at the right time. But he says this Phillies team in the playoffs is scary. It is. They're playing with the confidence, and the mentality that they're never going to lose, and they're never out of a game. I mean, 6-run. Who has 6-run innings in the playoffs? They're unheard of. You don't have 6-run innings in the playoffs. But what I will say is, in 2008. This is the same vibe that we had in 2008. It felt like a team of destiny. That Milwaukee series, so many things happened in that Milwaukee series. From that at bat with Brett Myers, the grand slam with Shane Victorino, right? So many things happened. Look at the lead. Look at the Dodger series. We all know about Matt Stairs, right? The Jimmy Rollins game. And then of all people, the unsung heroes, guys like Jeff Jenkins starts off the postponed game against Tampa Bay and leads off with a friggin' double. Jeff Jenkins didn't do nothing for 2 friggin' years. And he comes in and leads off with a double. That's how you know where you are a team of destiny. The baseball gods speak. They absolutely do. And he says they're going to give Altuve MVP again. They may. Does this Jigsaw like playing games? Listen, man, it's funny, man. That's how I love the Jigsaw name, man. It's like time to play the game, right? And I'm a big wrestling guy, too. It's time to play the game. Triple H, I am the game. So I just play into it, man. I do. Everything I do is around the Jigsaw persona. We do Jigsaw pieces when I do my, fantasy sports. Obviously, make sure you're following at Win Daily Sports as well. Do a lot of work for Win Daily Sports family when we're talking about DFS and sports betting. Make sure, listen, $5.99 a week for all our projection models, $5.99 a week for all our prop models. We have people hitting like $100,000 tickets. It's ridiculous. I'm not saying it. It's 100% truth. Not trying to be a salesman, just letting you know that if you want something, code win big. Win big. Use that code. You can get a free week right now. I'm just telling you. It's football season. We're hitting it. Shorty will check in. She'll let you know. Al says, Tony, I called the Phillies in 6. What did you say? I don't remember what I said, Al. I just said it's going to be a tough series, right? It's going to be a tough series. I do remember that, but you can refresh my memory. I'll help. This is the Jigsaw I've known for 10 plus years. Straight shooter, honesty, and facts. You know that, Eric. And that's the thing. Like, what you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. And I've said this before. Listen, I talk to my clients like this. I talk to producers like this. Like, this is just who I am. I don't know. And that's one thing. And I do that. And I say it to my kids all the time. It's one thing I can tell you. If you just continue to be authentic and be yourself, nobody can ever say anything bad about you, right? You never have to run away from anything. You never have to hide because you're not afraid to say what you feel. If you believe it, people may not agree. And I'm not saying to be disrespectful, but hey, if you believe it, say it, feel it, breathe it, man. It's all about. Sixers were playing to lose. It was terrible. Brutal game tonight. You're 7-1, stay on the floor. Talking about Joel. It was terrible. Don't start on the Sixers. They will be fine. Al, that's the show for another day. Talking Phillies now, damn it. Phillies Kane and Joe was their best move. Anthony, you know all about Joe Girardi out there in New York. I was shocked. I saw a guy in Joe Girardi that completely gave up, that was completely uninterested, that didn't want any part of being a manager right now. And I think it proves it because he's not even being mentioned as wanting to get back into the game. I don't know what his issue was. That was not the same Joe Girardi I knew. And it was definitely a move that had to be made. Zone 8 says, why the Sixers worst Philadelphia team? Listen, Zone 8, please don't get us started. We're an hour and 10 minutes into this show talking to Phillies, and it could get crazy right now if we start talking Sixers. Joe says, Cowboys fans are silent like Notre Dame fans after the Stanford game. Crickets. That's the thing, crickets. The one thing about Philadelphia fans, at least we're going to be uber confident that we're going to win the next game. We're just going to come out and we're going to try to steal your heart by saying something else. It's just what we do. At least we're vocal, and you can find us. College says, isn't that crazy? Going into 2002, the Sixers were the team I was most excited about by far. That I was definitely not excited tonight. I can say that. When is Cassell going to be named head coach? Joe, me and you are on the same page. You know that. Sam Cassell needs to be the head coach of that team. We need to kick Doc to the curb. We'll get into that. Anthony says Cleveland was one of the hottest teams after the break. The Guardians really were. They were one of the hottest teams after the break. And listen, the Yankees came through, man. The Yankees came through. Brian says, Zone 8, the Philadelphia 76ers just opened the season up tonight. We won't know how they were doing until the All-Star break. Listen, I will say one thing. I'm going to lose my voice soon, so I don't know how much longer I can go here. But what I will say about the Sixers is it's very concerning to me that you had a whole offseason. Okay, Joel's making his appearances at all these games for the Phillies, and he's making appearances at the Eagles games, and everything's happy. Tyrese Maxey's at the Flyers game. Everybody's good, right? Everybody's loving it. They all forgot to show up tonight. Against your formidable foe in the Boston Sixers, in the Boston Celtics, okay, on opening night. So, come on, man. It was the same bullshit that we watched last year, and I'm so sick of it. With those bats, they're never out of it, Rich says. Anthony says, it's Phillies management and veteran experience. It really is. The veteran experience cannot be understated. Matt Stairs is an OG. Oh, yeah, look, Anthony brings up the Joe Bland. Kentucky Joe with the home run. That's what I'm saying. Like, so much happened. Like, who the hell would have thought Kentucky Joe Blanton would have been pitching meaningful innings in a World Series? Who would have thought that Jamie Moyer would be pitching meaningful innings in a pennant race, right? I mean, it was just crazy when you think about it. Colgan says, at Brian, statistically, though, the Sixers do not have more losses after the first game than the Flyers and the Eagles combined. They do have more losses, yeah. Unfortunately, they do. Andy says, Matt Stairs is the all-time leader in pinch hit home runs, man. That ball is still going. Do you know Gervais from Survivor? Yeah, you know what? I don't watch Survivor, but I'm very familiar with that name. Rich says Jigsaw is a real deal. Been with my man from the beginning. Oh man, Rich, love you, bro. Seriously. Rich has always been there back from the PI days, man. That's what's great. XM show on Sunday. Yeah, Adam. So right now, so everybody knows. Right now, the Win Daily show that I help co-host on Sirius XM channel 87. Because of football season, what happens is because of Sunday Night Football and they expand their football coverage, they bring in other shows. So what they did was they took away our Sunday slot for football season, but gave us a prime time slot for football on Saturdays from 5 to 8. So make sure you tune in. And there's always a Jigsaw hour on there because I didn't want to be hemmed down to a Saturday night show. So I offered to do a Jigsaw hour. So that's what I do. But my man Jason and Sia, they kill it for the other 2 hours. We talk prop bets, fantasy, DFS. And again, if anybody out there wants to get in the world of sports betting and the world of DFS, if you're in it already and you're using a network, let me know. I can guarantee you that ours is going to be better. Our guys care. We're like a family, okay? And we're the cheapest spot around to get you top models in the game. Brian says, do Philadelphia 76ers play Thursday and the Flyers play tomorrow again? I think so. I'm not 100% positive. If you guys can help me with that, I appreciate it. Joe still gets yeah. You know what's funny, Anthony? That's a good point. So at the end of the day, all that bullshit with Girardi, and if we do win, he still gets a ring. Check that out. He still gets a friggin' ring. Yeah, good old Joe still gets a ring. Jay says, keep Doc for the moment, then grab me Udoka when the Celtics. That's a touchy subject, Jay. That's a touchy subject. You know what? That's a touchy subject because I'm going to throw it all out there. I'm a Nia Long crusher, bro. Like, seriously, like, I'm all in on Nia Long. So what he did is unforgivable. I'm going to be honest with you. Listen, it's one thing. It's one thing to go crazy and to sneak around. But when you're home with a fine ass woman like Nia Long, who basically gave up everything to move out there with you, and you still do her dirty like that, bro, I got no respect. No respect, man. I'm just going to say that. I got no respect for Udoka right now. I wonder what Joe has to say on MLB Network. Yeah. What's Joe saying on the network tonight? As a Nets fan, Anthony says, I missed the team and the coach they had the year they lost to Philly in the first round. You know what? The Nets, it's funny. When we, to talk basketball for 1 second, I had Kai Carlin on. And if you're subscribed to this channel, again, I do tons of interviews, and you'll see they're usually 15 to 20 minutes long. I cut them up, check them out, do a lot of work in there. A lot of very intellectual people give a lot of great information. I had Kai Carlin on today. He joined me on location in Boston. My man joined me from Boston because he covers a game for USA Today. And he gave me a breakdown in 15 minutes, and he said that to him, if healthy, the Nets are the most talented team in the NBA. Very, very interesting take from my man Kai Carlin. Rich says, I'll know after the first 10 games. I agree. Al wants to say, can everybody relax? It's been one game. Shake my head. Al, come on, man. This is Philly. You know that. Anthony says, get rid of James Harden in a 14 trade and get veteran pieces back. James Harden was the only dog we had tonight, man. Brian says, would you ever think after the Phillies fired their coach and got Rob Thompson as new coach that this is for who we would ever think that? It's funny. I didn't know nothing about Rob Thompson. I really didn't. I knew nothing about Rob Thompson. I knew that he was a veteran bench coach. I knew that he had, a lot of history with Joe Girardi, and I knew that, he had a lot of respect around the league, but I didn't know much about him until I really dove into it. And, and I asked a couple of people in the know, was like, who is this guy, right? I read a piece about Rob Thompson from who I think is the GOAT in the game in Jason Stark. If you're not reading Jason Stark, I don't know what you're doing wrong. I mean, you're doing something wrong because Jason Stark is the absolute GOAT when it comes to baseball. And I read a piece from Jason Stark on The Athletic. And he sold me on Rob Thompson. He gave me the lowdown on Rob Thompson. I had no idea. So I'm all in on Topper. I really am. Rich says, was this a preseason game for the Sixers tonight? Did they know it was not the first game? Exactly. They didn't show up. Calder said Anthony L. He's talking to Anthony L. in the comments. I'm sorry. That Austin, you remember to mention the blatant home run, even though you're not a Phillies fan, baseball. See, that's the great part of it. Again, bringing people together. That's what this is all about. Javon says, remember that Utley play at the plate game when he faked through the first and got the runner at home. Well, unbelievable. And the funny thing is, he even faked out the camera guy, remember? Because the camera guy, you go back and watch that play, you had no idea what was going on. The camera guy didn't even freaking know what was going on. And then it was just, again, IQ. Baseball, IQ. I said it all the time. Football, IQ. Basketball, IQ. You can have all the talent in the world. You really can. But if your IQ is null in the game that you play, you're not going to be that good. And Chase Utley, again, he had them both. I'm surprised Chase Utley isn't a coach yet, isn't a manager. Chase Utley, in my opinion, Chase Utley is one of those managerial guys that you'll see in the game running a team. Andy says Ryan Howard's injury, in the 2011 ALDS is what started that downfall for Philly. I want to cry every time I think about him blowing out his Achilles at the plate. Poor Ryan Howard. The big piece had a 4 to 5 year run that will never, ever be replicated, ever. Read my words, ever. Never be duplicated, ever. What he did in that 4 to 5 game span was magical. Magical. And I think and in my opinion, in Philadelphia, the most disrespected athlete in Philadelphia. Number 1, Ryan Howard. Number 2, Donovan McNabb. That's my verdict right there. And he says, you guys had Cliff Lee and Doc. Like, come on. That was a 1-2 punch along with Hamels. I mean, listen, that's what was crazy. I cannot believe we lost in 2009 too. To the Yankees, Anthony. To the Yankees. I can't believe we lost in 2009 to the Yankees. Jorge freaking Posada, Johnny freaking Damon, Hideki Matsui. Really? Those guys. We even had Pedro Martinez come back. Who's your daddy? In New York, in the Bronx, and pitch a great game. And we still lost, man. I remember like it was yesterday. And LDS, yep. All good. Correction. Ivan checking in. Jigsaw is a great dude. One of the best things from being at Wendell. Ivan, dude, I really appreciate that, man. Seriously. Like, I work my ass off and try to just be me. And I'm going to be honest with you. When the great leader of Wendell, Jason Mizrahi, came in and said, yo, I want to bring you over to Wendell family. I didn't know what to expect, man. I honestly didn't know what to expect because let's be honest, I do things differently in the world of fantasy and sports betting. I'm not the normal guy, right? I'm not the normal guy. I have a different take on certain things, and I'm a very opinionated guy. And I'm like, how are these guys going to accept me? What are these guys? What are these subscribers going to think? Like, who is this guy? I'm 44 years old. I'm no young buck, man. I'm 44 years old. I'm not one of those kids that that are just finding their way and it can go out and party and taking pictures with whiskey bottles and at the club living it up. That's not me, man. So it's like, I'm not the cool thing. Maybe they're not gonna buy into me, man, but they've really accepted me. And Ivan, seriously, you're one of the first dudes, man. You and Shorty, man, I greatly appreciate it. She's been fantastic as well. Just bringing me in, man. Bringing me in. Eric says, good night, everybody. See you tomorrow night. Clara made a slamming dinner for the Eagles game and Phillies game. Going to go clean up the kitchen for her. Stay true, stay blessed, stay safe. Jigsaw and everyone in my continued prayers. Go Philadelphia fans. Eric is one of the coolest dudes and Dallas dudes you will ever meet, man. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Eric, for always checking in. Calder says, Anthony L, the image of Ryan Howard lying on the ground with that snapped ACL during that final out, that was the end of the glory stretch. Yeah, it was his Achilles, man. The ruptured Achilles on that was terrible. Al checking in says Sixers play Bucks Thursday at home. So there you go. We got to wait for a preseason game number 2. Zone 8 says, give us Frank Vogel. You can have Frank Vogel. I'm good. They should have never signed Kyrie and KD. Listen, it's the mental thing, man. Kyrie is just out there in left field sometimes. That's the thing. You just never know when he's going to show up. One of the best players in the NBA, if he's actually going to play. Rich says, I just knew he was a baseball lifer. That's it. James loves James. I love it, man. James loves James. You know that, man. LeBron just loves LeBron. He loves him some LeBron. Brian says, if you don't mind me asking, sir, what got you to start a podcast? If you don't listen, Brian, I love these questions, man. Full transparency. I just wanted, I grew up in the sports scene, loved sports always. And I was told by many people, I'll be honest with you, I was told to get into it. All right. I was told to get into it. I didn't go to school for this. Okay. I did not go to school for this. If you want the full real quick for the Jigsaw story, man, like, I did life backwards, bro. I did life backwards. I had a kid at 20 years old, dropped out of college, got married super young, started a family, went, did the full-time thing, support the family, had 2 other kids, have 3 great kids today, went back to school later on, got my bachelor's degree, finished school, but it was too late to jump into the sports radio business because if people don't understand, people don't know the sports radio business doesn't pay very well, if at all. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Like, if everybody thinks this is an illustrious career in the sports radio business, you're sadly mistaken. They don't pay shit, dude. Like, seriously. Like, if you want to go sit in a studio for $40 and they'll probably use and abuse the shit out of you, then that's your career. And if that's what you want to do, you can do that as an intern or a young guy getting in the business. Okay, but as an established adult who has to support a family, you can't start right there. So the best thing to do is, hey, go start a podcast, and maybe you can create a following, and you get your family and friends to support you, and then you start to bring up viewers, and then you get sponsors, and then maybe you can make a little money off of it and monetize it a little bit, and then work your way up to the bigger networks to show at least you're getting exposure that way. And that's why I did it, and it's really caught on. It's been going, God, like, I think like 10, 15 years now. And it's excelled me to different things. I've had a moment here and there at certain stations and opportunities, which I'm very grateful for. But now I just do my own thing, man. I do my own thing. I love every minute of it. People like yourself and everybody checking this while I do what I do. I mean, we're an hour and 25 minutes on this stream, man. An hour and 25 minutes, and we're still going strong. We're still going strong. So again, make sure you're hitting that like button, that subscription button as well. Anthony says that Tampa team wasn't an easy win for you guys. It wasn't, but after we got that, that first game in our belt, I think we knew, man. I think we knew. Utley works for the Dodgers and advised them against the Padres. Stay in LA, smoking cigs, silver fox. I love Joe, man. Joe's the best. Andy says, I was at a Nets game the night the Yankees won Game 6. Interesting, man. Interesting. I like that. Brad Lidge had the perfect season. We'll always remember that. Brad Lidge, amazing reclamation project. Jay says, think about this. Schwarber loses out the pool holes and Judge in home run derby, then eliminates both to win the World Series. Check that out. Jay's always thinking ahead, man. Jay's always thinking ahead. He's the wise veteran of the game. I'm a man. I'm 40. Yeah, I'm 44. We had a good team before we got him, Anthony says. Calder says, I can believe we lost to the Yankees in 2009. They were darn good, but what I can't still believe is that they lost to the Giants in 2010 NLCS and the Cards in 2011. Those teams were inferior. Again, Chris Carpenter, Cody Ross. That's all I'm going to say. I talked about that in the beginning. And that's what killed me. Andy says, when D'Lo, Levert, Allen Harris, we had a good team, but got bumped by Philly. Kenny A was the right. Kenny Atkinson was the right coach for that Nets team. Yeah, I agree. I like Kenny Atkinson. He was the right coach for that team. Honestly, he really was. But they just now they're going all superstar, man. They all in with the superstars. Rich said, "You've been grinding since day one, bro. You got that dog in you." Yeah, I need Nick Sirianni to come say, yo, or even better, I need Pat McAfee. I need to get on the Pat McAfee show so I can say I got that damn dog in me, right? I got that dog in me. I got to be on the McAfee show so I can get that dog in me. Cole was dominant in 08, he says, and in the playoffs. Listen, man, we're hour and 27 minutes, man. Listen, we're gonna end this. My voice hurts. I love it though. I love every minute. Hopefully, we found some new fans for the Final Judgment here. Hopefully, you are subscribed so you get alerted. Again, I all plans to go live tomorrow right after Game 2. So keep it locked in here. I will go live on Game 2 We want to make sure that we get in game 2, win or loss. We're going to get in. We'll not be doing live post-game shows on the weekend. I got some family time planned. We are going to watch the game together, but just some family stuff planned, so it won't be back. I won't be airing for that, but we'll definitely do post-game shows the following week. And as always, the final judgment. Like I said, make sure you're following this show. Make sure you're following this channel because you never know whether it be a quick highlight reel pops up, whether there's an interview that pops up. Man, scan through, man. See what you like. There's a lot of great content there. I'm investing in me. That's one thing I will say. Everybody out there who tuned into this show, okay, or is tuning in later, I will say this is the one thing I will say. Well, can you make a video? What do you think about the game later? We'll see. I'm actually going on a 3 to 4 day trip, so so I may not be able to. But again, I will definitely lay down my thoughts, in a post somewhere, Brian. You could definitely you can bank on that. So make sure you're following me, and I will at least give you my thoughts, and again be able to have an open dialogue with anybody who wants to give their thoughts as well. Signing off, this is what I will say, everybody. This is my thoughts for everybody. I always sign off with my famous statement, which I'll give you in a minute. But word of the day, your phrase of the day is invest in you. Okay. If anybody listening out there, just invest in you. I learned a long time ago. I learned a long time ago that, if you continue to build up everybody else, once they get built up to the peak of where they're built, they're going to forget about you. They're going to forget about you and they're going to move on, right? They're going to move on. So at the end of the day, you get your experiences, but at the end of the day, make sure that you get investment in you. Invest in you. If you're going to go out and spend money on something, spend money on you. Okay. If somebody says to you, hey, come join a show on my platform, on my network, okay, and you need to get started, that's fine. But at the end of the day, if you want your own show, go, instead of paying to do something else, pay to buy your own equipment. Invest in you. Get a microphone. Invest in you. Okay. Run your own ads. Invest in you. Okay. Last thing I will say, as always, is invest in you. My man Brian says, can you do an interview? Listen, the funny thing is, I've been trying for a year to get an interview with the Philly Fanatic. Honestly, I've been trying for a year. I would love to get an interview with the Philly Fanatic in the Fanatic costume. Okay. Not the actual person inside the Fanatic, but I'd love to get, something where it's like captioned, obviously, because they can't speak. I don't think they can talk inside that thing. I'm not sure, but I would love to get it captioned. I'd love to get that interview. Absolutely. But again, invest in you. At the end of the day, invest in you. I am Tony Jigsaw Cutillo. This is the final judgment. I appreciate everybody checking in, liking, subscribing to the show. Keep it locked here for tremendous content. And again, just because I'm not live, if there's questions that you have about anything, put it in the YouTube comments. I follow the page actively every single day, and I will open up any kind of dialogue on any kind of topic right through the YouTube comments. That's what makes this page so great. So at the end of the day, like I always say, some people have thoughts and some people have takes, but on this show, you get the final judgment.